The next couple of days. All the while, though, we're going to be watching tropical storm likely to become Hurricane Delta later on tonight. And this is going to be a major storm in the Gulf of Mexico with some sort of hurricane impacts. A pretty good bet, at least at this time, pretty good probability for Louisiana and perhaps portions of Acadiana. So here we go again. Hopefully this is the last week we got to talk about the tropics, but we got a lot going on with high pressure out in the eastern, off to the northeast in the western portion of the Atlantic, pushing Delta mainly to the west right now. We have the wild card, little tropical depression Gamma here that's going to be slipping to the southwest and just kind of parking and dissipating. That's going to open up the door for Delta to move on through the Yucatan Channel. And then an upper level low that is going to expand and kind of move up here in Texas. This upper level trough is going to eventually turn the system to the north and then perhaps northeast as it makes landfall. But a lot of moving pieces here, and we could actually have a little Fujiwara interaction, but probably not a whole lot since Gamma is such a weak system with all the convection stripped away from the center of that tropical storm earlier today. Now it's down to a tropical depression, and you can see the swirl right here. No real big convection with it, just some thunderstorms late this afternoon. And then Delta today getting a serious upgrade as hurricane hunters came down here, found pressures that were hurricane intensity, 983 millibars, but the winds haven't caught up, but they may be doing that right now. This may be declared officially as a hurricane as we get for the 7 o'clock bulletin. And check out my social media feeds. All of KATC social media feeds. We're updating those feeds automatically now soon as the latest advisory comes in. So here we have Tropical Storm Delta, 70-mile-per-hour winds, gusts to 85, currently moving to the west. There's that pressure, and we'll see how it goes. Hurricane Hunter's getting ready to go through that center once again, or was just about to just moments ago. The forecast, and this is the big news, the forecast now brings this to a Category 3 storm, may interact with the tip of Yucatan, so that could make for some difficulty in intensification, but nonetheless, we're looking at a major hurricane in the southern Gulf of Mexico, at least with Category 3 winds. There is room for Category 4 status with this system, and I would not rule that out, but then eventually it turned to the north and then to the northeast, making landfall sometime Friday as a Category 2 storm. And look at this forecast track, brings it right through St. Mary, Terrebonne Parish border. Again, that forecast can change. This is the average forecast error, so this could be off to the east, or we could see a little bit of a shift back to the west. But the bottom line, we're going to have to be prepared for the possibility of hurricane conditions. We'll have to wait and see here in Acadiana as we head into Friday. Now, the water temperatures by the coast are down into the mid-70s, but you just go about 70 miles out and you're already into the 80s. And look at the heat content here in the northwestern Caribbean down into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. Lots of potential here, so we do think this is going to go through what's called a rapid intensification cycle through the next 36 hours. We've seen a lot of these lately in the last 10 to 20 years for reasons that we won't get into right now, but that is certainly a possibility. This is the European model, has a little bit of a weaker storm going farther to the west, making landfall in Vermilion Parish, but the Euro has not been the best so far this tropical season. The GFS has been a little bit better and also more consistent, and this is the latest model run of the GFS. This just came in about 20 minutes ago. This is going to be heading toward the Louisiana coast. Here we have Friday morning, a little bit slower, making landfall Friday afternoon, or more than likely Friday evening with the GFS model. That's not the official forecast, but you can see much of Acadiana in the mix for the possibility of hurricane force winds and then a big storm surge, especially along and east of where that center makes landfall. So southeast Louisiana, Grand Isle, going to see a big inundation there, and it's going to be more than 4 to 6 feet compared to what we had with Laura. So think about that down the line, or the other storms that we've had this year, Sally included as well. So here we go. This is the remnants of Gamma. Our weather looking good through tomorrow, mid-80s the high with fair to partly cloudy skies, and then we'll see Delta coming into the equation and getting better and better organized. The graph model deepening this system as the low pressure heads generally to the west. Notice we got this going through 10 o'clock Wednesday night, and it'll be approaching just due south of Lafayette and Acadiana, and then it's got to make that turn to the north and northeast. So impacts locally certainly a possibility, but in the near term the weather pattern is looking good. 57 the low tonight, 84 the high tomorrow. with mostly sunny skies. And as we go down the road, we'll be watching Thursday, Friday, Saturday, some big days ahead. And don't be surprised if we have a hurricane watch for portions of Acadiana as we go into that may be issued tomorrow night, and a hurricane watch for portions of the area going into Thursday and more than likely into Friday. So some rough days ahead once again, and hopefully after this one, last one to talk about for 2020. We hope.
We hope. Fingers, toes, everything's crossed at this point.